So you get it back here.
Right.
You brought it here.
Here.
Okay. And then you're sitting there and you're saying to yourself, let's restore it. Why did you choose to restore it? What brought you to do what you're doing right now?
Well, because the truck didn't look anything like the Cannonball truck. It didn't have any chrome on it. It was painted blue to match my race car. And you could see when on our restoration photos, the red-orange paint below the blue in places, you know? And I got a good friend of mine that has Nevada Industrial, right? He calls me on a Sunday. This is right after I get the truck. Calls me on a Sunday and goes, hey, what are you doing? I said, yeah, I'm waking up, man. He goes, are you going to be around today? I said, yeah. And he goes, well, you know that job I did, and you told me it was the wrong way to do it, and the next, if you ever get it again, to get a hold of you and you'd help me on it? I said, yeah, I think. I don't know. There've been I do a lot of work for him, right? And he goes, I'm coming over. He's a good friend of mine, Chris Ravencroft. So Chris shows up at my door, and he's business, okay? This guy's real sharp, but he's a business guy. Good friend. He's got all these prints of this stuff they want built, basically cut and punch, right? Now, all I'm thinking about is a paint job, because they got some real talented, they do industrial coatings, but there's his painter over there, Johnny, who I've known for 20 years that he's been there or more, right? He's good as they come. He's right there with anybody, okay? And we're friends. So all I'm thinking about, this is my paint job. So he's got all these stacks of prints, right? Do I really look at any of them that day? I'm waking up, I'm having coffee. And Chris is going through them one after another. Now this one, see, this one here. I'm going, yeah, okay, yeah. I'm having my coffee, and he's rattling on. He goes, well, you interested? You want to do it? I said, sure, I'll do it. He said, well, you got any idea what it's going to cost? I said, yeah, a paint job. He goes, what? I said, a paint job on my Cannonball truck. I found my Cannonball truck. I said, but it's not going to be a cheap paint job. He goes, no. He said, a paint job? I said, yeah. I said, I'll do it for a paint job. I said, but it's ground up restoration. I mean, we're painting everything. Everything's coming apart. Oh, that's even better. We don't have to mask nothing? He don't. He said, you got the paint job. Don't worry about it. He said, I will call you when the steel comes in. I told him where to buy the steel and everything, you know. I don't have a clue what I'm doing. All I know is I can. I kind of remember what he did, but I'm not paying no attention, right? So he calls me up. He said, hey, he said, your 2 truckloads of steel are here. Really? Okay, I'll be over. I go over there, and there's a mountain of steel, about that tall, huge, right? 1'8". I'm looking at him and going, this is the steel? And he left me a bunch of prints, right? And he says, you crazy bastard, you haven't even looked at those prints, have you? And I said, no, I'm thinking paint job. I don't care what they are. And he's going, you sure you want to do this? I said, we're on, game on. So I started carting this steel over, and it was big stuff. It's for a mine out there in Elko somewhere. And they were basically brackets, clips, and everything that he in turn sold them to Western Nevada Supply, I think. But I did all the cutting and punching on it, and he did the paint job. And then when the owner, both of them are really good friends of mine. Peabody owns a place. Chris and him are in Nevada Industrial together. They're ventures in a bunch of different stuff probably. But Peabody's a real good friend of mine. That's who owns the place, right? And I didn't have no place to do it. I mean, you could see in my shop, this frame makes everything stop. And so they gave me a section of their body shop to do all the body work once we get the frame done. And they've already done all the body. The body's off on carts, and everything got painted, completely tore apart, because I wanted to get it as close to factory as we could. I wanted it so if anybody ever bought it and wanted to do it again, you know, get in the truck and have their own little Cannonball, it would be good enough to do that. But there was one or two ways of doing it, because the truck had been painted, all the chrome had been taken off of it, right? It had been changed since the Cannonball, and I wanted to look. In fact, we went to a stance of it had a chrome tube grill in the front, right? Because the Cannonball had the stock grill, and after the Cannonball, the truck was paid. I wanted to clean it up, make it look like a new Dually, because they all look the same up until about 80. I just took the chrome off of it, but dulled it up, put chrome wheels on it, and drop center wheels, because you can get the split rims couldn't be dealt with anymore. So it was a different truck, look-wise. And I wanted it to look exactly the same. And we did it, the rear view mirrors, the extent of finding all the emblems that I took off and threw away. Because here's the thing, they make a lot of stuff for the two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive regular pickups, but they don't make much stuff for a crew cab dually. All the camper special and all the stuff, like it was in the Cannonball. At that time, I took it all off. I just threw all that stuff away. And believe me, we didn't throw it away going around. I mean, we had to buy some of these. So we're like, oh man, I threw nice ones away, But we went to that extent to put it back. It's a Cannonball truck, period. And I'm the only one that can do it because I built the one originally, So, and it's my baby. It's been we've had a lot of fun. And then George came along. I knew him through his brother, and he retired here, big mistake he made. And he had built a bunch of cars, really good. He knew more about this restoration, I was just going to tear it apart. He goes, oh, no, we don't do it that way. We do it this way. We get everything working, make sure all the wiring's working. We get everything adjusted, make sure we can adjust it. We get all that done. So he fiddled with it for a month. I was just going to tear it apart and give it to Peabody. Did I realize what I was getting into? No. He's been really leading the project. And, so kind of a savior on the deal. And it's come along. Get everything adjusted, make sure we can adjust it. We get all that done. So he fiddled with it for a month. I was just going to tear it apart and give it to Peabody. Did I realize what I was getting into? No. He's been really leading the project. And, so kind of a savior on the deal, and it's come along really good. But it's going together, it's going back just like it ran the Cannonball.
It's going to have the same gas tank.
Same everything. I built the gas tank, won't build another one. I mean, that one, God knows what happened to it. But it'll have the exact same tank. And it's going to have, in the bed, there was a hole where the tank went through the bottom of the bed, right? It's going to have the same. I got all the holes in there where the old tank mounted. So that's exactly what, I just got to build another tank, which is no big deal. That's what I do. So we're fabricating a tank, and I'm going to put the same kind of baffles that was in it, see? When I built that tank, I just put baffles that kept the fuel from going side to side, but nothing front to back. So when that gas tank got about half full and you slammed on the brakes, it was like, getting kicked in the ass as you were stopping. All that fuel would go forward, and I'm not changing that. It's getting built exactly like it was in the Cannonball. That tank is. I'm putting the two baffles in, because I never dawned on me I should put baffles going the other way too.